Welcome again, everybody, to our webinar this morning Eastern time in the US on Slingshot. We have a bunch of people from all over the place, and it looks like this will be a good turnout. So today, what we are going to talk about is data catalogs, the future of business success. Data catalogs used to be only for the upper echelon of the largest of enterprises. Now, with tools like Slingshot, we bring it down to the business user. And it's very practical, it's very useful, and it's something that you can implement immediately to start that journey of data democratization in your enterprise and really creating that data-driven culture. So again, with us today is Casey McGuigan, product owner for Slingshot, been with the product since day one, so she's an expert all around. And myself, I'm Jason. I run the product teams here at Infragistics. So what are we going to talk about today? Understanding data catalogs, looking at the benefits. We're going to do a demo, and then I will be answering Q&A along as Casey does her demo. Quick housekeeping, we will send out the recording after the webinar, and please ask questions in the question window or the chat. Make sure that you select to everyone on the chat dialogue from the Zoom. All right, so let's kick it off. So what is a data catalog? Now, Gartner has been talking about data catalogs for quite some time. In fact, I remember we were at a Gartner event in Las Vegas probably 5 or 6 years ago now. I'm going to say it was like 2016, maybe, Casey. I don't really remember, but we had a booth for our Reveal product, which is an embedded BI product, which of course we use inside of Slingshot, as you know, if you've been attending these webinars, and Reveal allows you to build dashboards and do self-service BI. But what Gartner really started to focus on was how does the business user, the power user, the data user across the enterprise get access to this data? Well, that's through a data catalog. So a data catalog is essentially a inventory of your data assets across all of the servers in your enterprise. Now, data catalogs get very complex, and the reason is because enterprises are complex. You have hundreds and thousands of departments, tens of thousands of users. There's data everywhere. So I think what's happened with data catalogs and why we don't see this adoption is because they tried to get too smart. So they would have this concept of an augmented data catalog, which would automatically search your network and find data and then attempt to catalog it automatically. And then users could go in and search. Well, most of us probably work with maybe 20 to 30 data sources or data sets a week or a day. We don't work with hundreds of data sets and data sources. That would just be overwhelming. Then the other problem is you don't know in this enterprise data catalog, like who created this data set? Who created this data source? Is it valid? Can I actually use it? So there's just a lot of complexity. So what we did in Slingshot was we made this very simple. Of course, as you know, our mantra for Slingshot is simple and beautiful. And I think that's what we've delivered. And you'll see that in the demo today, where we allow you in a small business and a large enterprise to have a no-nonsense way of inventorying data sources and dashboards with some level of certification that allows any user to know what they're using and when and how. So the data catalog, while it has evolved over the last 5 to 7 years, I think it's going to start to devolve a little bit into more of what you see in Slingshot, which is a very useful tool, which allows you to gain a unified view of your data. It enhances data accessibility across your department, across your enterprise. It accelerates data discovery. So in Slingshot, you'll see we have quick searches and filters, so you can look for things on various different attributes. You can cultivate this data-driven culture. And the way that happens is if you're just, the average power user in a department that really isn't directly connected maybe to where you need this data from to maybe do a dashboard, do a quarterly business review, do some level of reporting, to have an area where anyone can go and look for things and have that certainty, that confidence that that data is good, it is right, and that they are allowed to use it is really what drives that data-driven culture. Without that, it's very difficult. When we talked about data-driven culture over the last couple of years in these webinars, we talk about, using data in meetings. Well, it's usually the upper tier of people that have access to that data. Now with the data catalog, everyone can have access to that data. And then, of course, improving data analysis and decisions on the spot, on the fly, which does drive revenue, which is what we all care about, is improving decision-making to drive revenue. So these 5 areas are really the top level benefits of a data catalog, but through the demo, you'll see how it can really help your organization. So with that, I am going to stop my share. I'm going to hand it over to Casey, and she is going to give us a tour of the data catalog in Slingshot. So take it away, Casey.
Yeah, I don't know why my image didn't come up on that slide.
Oh, there was an image. Oh,
yeah. It was supposed to kind of show a little bit, but that's all right. We'll get right into the demo. I just got to get to my share button.
And you know what? That image is not there.
I don't know what happened. It was a pretty nice data catalog image.
I may have accidentally hit the delete key. Sorry.
That's all right. Nothing better than seeing it live and in person.
Yep.
All right. You can see my screen?
Mm-hmm.
All right. Perfect. So as Jason mentioned, I'm going to go through demoing our data catalog within Slingshot. And then I'll kind of dive into a little bit of the other features that are inside Slingshot as well that can really take your data catalog to a new level. As I do go through this, kind of picture Slingshot as your all-in-one digital workplace, though. So pulling together your project management, your team collaboration, your data insights, and all of your content, file storage, URL research, all into one application. So starting here, I'm going to demo on the web, but Slingshot is available on any platform, mobile, web, and desktop for Mac OS and Windows. So here I have an organization within Slingshot, Apex Homes, this kind of made up a little bit of an organization. And I'm landed right here on our data catalog. So this is my organization's kind of single source of truth when it comes to needing to answer questions that rely on data. So at my home catalog screen, you can see I have a search where if I am a marketing manager and maybe I don't know how to get to our new seats numbers, I can come here, search new seats, and get results of anything that has to do with the new seats for my organization and get the answers that I'm looking for. Instead of needing to know what database things are in and passwords and all these other types of things, if I have access to that data, I'm able to view it in a beautiful visualization. I can see the latest updated dashboards here, and then you can see the different people that have different levels of certification. So after I go through a little bit of a flow, you'll see at the end that I will certify a dashboard so that anybody that comes and finds an asset in the catalog knows how really trustworthy that asset is. So for me, if it's gold, you can maybe trust it a little bit better than Marissa at silver and then Lynn at bronze. And then there's things in the catalog that can also be uncertified where you're kind of maybe not sure. So I'm going to go to our data sources and kind of go through adding a data source to our catalog. So you can see here we have 2 Excel files, but let's add a data source for Google Analytics. So I'm going to come to Google Analytics. I have my account kind of already here set up. If I didn't, I would just simply log into Google Analytics and come back here. And I'm going to select just a staging site. And I'll click continue. So I'm going to give this a little bit of a friendly name. So I'm going to do Slingshot staging website. And maybe I want this to stand out a little more for somebody that's coming in to see. And I can give this a description. This is the testing staging site for the Slingshot product. This is not production data so that anybody coming knows. This certification I can give on a data source level. And then I can come into edit the details of this. So here is where kind of your data literacy and appealing to a just traditional business user really comes into play. So I know what all these dimensions and all these measures are, but I have a lot of people probably in my department that don't know if they wanted to see new users versus returning users, what field to use. So if I go into the users here, and I know that that's inside user type, I can change this to new or returning visits. And then I can also edit this description to be, we'll just use this to show new users versus people. Should have typed these before and pasted them. Returning to your site. Hit apply. And now you can see in a different color that I've edited this field here. And then let's maybe change one more. So we'll go into traffic sources. And I want to change, actually, at Infragistics, we always use product name in campaign. So I'm going to change this to product. And I'll come in here and I will just change this to, this is the product, the medium is marketing. I'll click apply and I'll just now click save and save and close. So now you can see this data source has been added to my catalog. You can see the little description here, but now I can use this data source. So if I come and I click on this source here, I'm going to go select this data. And now I'm in the dashboard editor because I want to use this now to create my dashboard. So if I come over now to user, you can see that this says new versus returning visits. So let's show that over time. So I'll do a line chart for time and I will pull over month. And then I'm going to grab sessions. And then I will now grab my user field. And in here as well, you can also see what the original source name was too. I'll hit update. And you can see the new versus returning visitors. And I'll change this date range to be the last 365 days. I'll hit update. And we'll do new versus returning for my first visualization. And now I can also give a description to this where I can, this is the breakdown, blah, 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 whatever. Click done, and then I'll hit the check up here. So just like that, I have my first visualization. I can continue now to add additional data sources if I want. So you can see some of them that we have like Salesforce, Google Search Console. Two of those are actually really good for really capturing the full customer journey of somebody. So your Google Analytics will only tell you so much. You need to know the performance of how, prior to that, maybe your ads. So how the ads are performing to get you to the website. And then from the website, you need the full story of, okay, how did this lead flow into Salesforce? Did they become an opportunity, et cetera? So you're able to add additional data sources right to this dashboard to get a full view. Since I'm kind of working with a staging site here, I'm going to stick with Google Analytics. So I'm going to do a little shortcut and I'm just going to duplicate this and go into edit. And then let's just do a quick donut chart with, what was the other one I changed? I changed campaign. So we'll go to traffic sources and you can see instead of campaign, we have product here. And this is not real data. So this would have our product. So we would do sessions by product marketed. I'll hit the check. And now let's just save this. So this will be our website traffic. Let me just add one more so it looks a little nicer. So we'll go and we'll use the sample file down here. This sample file is available for anybody trying Slingshot so that you can kind of get the feel for your different creation of dashboards. And then let's just do a stacked here. We'll do month conversions by territory. We'll do conversions like this, and I'll hit the check. So as I continue to add these different chart types, they all kind of get added as the same size, but you have full range of the different sizes of these that you can move them around, just like that. And then we have a few different themes as well that you can change. So let's change it to this ocean theme, and then we'll hit the check up here. So now I want to save this dashboard. I have the option to save this in any workspace or project that I'm working on in Slingshot, or I can save this into the data catalog since I am a catalog admin. If I wasn't a catalog admin, I could submit this to be reviewed to be added to the catalog. But I'm going to go to marketing. We'll just save this in our overview section. I will save this here. And now I can give this a certification level if I wanted to. Let me just show you where it's saved. Which one did I created this one. So we can do a certification level of gold here. And now this is added into my catalog. So for somebody that maybe needs to understand more about our website traffic and they don't know where to go, they can go traffic. They can see website traffic, they can see SEO traffic. You have the ability here to just look at things that are gold. You can look at particular people that created them, the day it was last modified, etc. And I can hit apply. And now I can all right, I'm looking for, I know Casey works in marketing, gold level. And now this is what I want to look at for looking at the website traffic. From here, of course, things don't just stop at looking at data. You need to be able to collaborate and act on data as well. So I came and I found all this website traffic, and I want to know what we've been doing where our new users are spiking up since June. So I'm going to come to the overflow menu. I'm going to start a discussion, and I'm going to start this with people in my marketing workspace. I have some insights, and this will be new user increase. I will hit create. And now I'm in a discussion. So within Slingshot, you have your data, you have your collaboration, you have your project management. So I've gone right from looking at my insights into a conversation. So if I go now to annotate this, just so I can make sure that anybody who is about to collaborate in here knows exactly what I'm referring to on here, I will annotate with a little line here that this is increasing. You can give it a little circle like that. Hit the check. I can continue to add different things if I wanted to, but I'll click done. And now I'll start a conversation with marketing. What is leading to new user increase? And now everybody on marketing gets a notification. They get a live link right to that dashboard within our data catalog. They can see the image and the screenshot that I put in there and start. And I've now kicked off this conversation around our insights. As things progress in this conversation, and maybe there's some action to be taken that somebody needs to look into this. Can you look into this? From here, I can now create a task. So from this overflow, I can go to create task for just our we'll do our team tasks. And Marissa, I need her to look into new user spike. I can assign this to her. I can give her a due date, and I can let her know, maybe with all the other stuff she has going on, that this would be a medium priority. And I'll click create. So now that task gets created right within our team tasks for Marissa here. She gets a link right to this discussion where she can come back and reference all of the conversation that's going on. So it's a very seamless flow from being able to find data that maybe you typically wouldn't be able to even know where to start to find, to analyzing it, to collaborating on it, to then taking action on it. So that would be adding additional value to even just having a data catalog within your organization. Jason, any questions?
No, that was great. One of the questions was around, you have discussions. Can you share a dashboard with just one person?
Yeah. So let me go so within marketing, I have like this SEO management project where you can kind of see this project has different content in it. It has a breakdown of the people that are working on this project and what their tasks look like. You can see all of the different tasks and stuff we have going on within here. And then we have dashboards. So with this, if maybe Jason isn't a part of this particular project, but I want him to get some insights on our SEO performance, I can come here and I can just share this particular dashboard right with him or anybody, or even people maybe not within this organization, which comes in handy when you're working maybe with somebody that freelances for you for SEO and stuff like that.
And from there, we can make sure that they can't edit the dashboard. There's this concept of a viewer and contributor, right?
Yep. So in your members, you can see here that you can do viewer, contributor, or owner. In addition, for dashboards, if you don't have access to the data, you don't have access to the data. So I can't share this with you and automatically grant you access to Google Search Console where this is coming from. So that all still needs to be done at the platform level.
Yeah, I think that's what is important to highlight, is that just because it's in the data catalog doesn't mean everyone has access to the underlying data. Mm-hmm. So at Infragistics, we have, I don't know, a couple hundred dashboards and data sources in our data catalog, and they have everything ranging from sales data to marketing data. But not everyone has access to our sales cube, or not everyone has access to Salesforce. So if they try to open it, they don't see any data. They are prompted, hey, do you want to ask for permission? And usually when someone's just poking around and they have to ask for permission, they don't, because they really don't need it, right? So there's no real risk to security here. It's just the way that data works in general. Like if someone has access to the IP address of your SQL server, they can try to break in with usernames and passwords and, never work. So it's the same concept. The other nice thing is, let's say that I create a dashboard and I put it in the data catalog, and then Casey clicks on it and she has access to it. Maybe we're in the same, group or permission group or whatever. And then she wants to share it with someone else. She wants to share it with Phil, who's our VP of sales. Well, when she goes to share with, because I'm the owner of that dashboard and the creator, it will actually send me a note and say, hey, do you want to share this with Phil? Because maybe Casey doesn't realize I don't want Phil to see that thing. And I can say, no, I don't want Phil to see that. Or I can say yes. And then Phil gets notified, hey, you have access to this dashboard. So there's very detailed security measures in here to ensure that your data is safe, that it's not willy-nilly, anyone can access anything. It kind of follows that governance that you would apply in your own organization. And on that note, on this screen, can you click Manage Certifiers? And so we can see what that looks like. So this is that certification. So Casey mentioned she is she's an org admin, and she is there. What's the other admin called? Data catalog admin or something? Like there's a couple levels of admin.
Yeah, and there's subscription admin that controls the user. Yeah,
that's right. So the subscription admin and the org admin. When you have a Slingshot Enterprise account, you have people that are org admins. Org admins can grant people permission to be data catalog certifiers. Your data catalog certification can be called whatever you want. We call it gold, silver, and bronze by default, kind of like the Olympics, gold medal, you're the best and whatnot. And then you can select people that you want to apply certification to. So for example, in this case, it looks like Marissa is a silver certifier or a better certifier, which means, she's probably potentially a director or a manager. And the org admin said, hey, she has she uses data. She does a lot of reporting, but she's not the ultimate person that says this data is okay for the entire organization to use. Now, up on top for best, that looks like, who are those people there? I forget their names. These are our fake users. Diego, Grady, Alex, and Adele and Casey are all best certifiers. So any one of those folks can then say, hey, this is 100% guaranteed data. Use it, and it is safe. Field names are right. It is production. It is good, blah, 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 blah. Now, Alex or Grady, they might be in IT. Dell might be a sales admin. Alex might be the VP of marketing. So it's just across your organization, individual people have the ability to do this. And I think what's really important is so your data catalog doesn't get polluted, is this pending for review. So the ability for anyone to say, you know what, this is a really useful dashboard. I want everyone to use it. Okay, cool. Let me put it to data catalog. Oh, I don't have permission to put it in data catalog. So I'm just going to put it in pending for review. And then from pending for review, a person who is a certifier or an org admin, when they click on it, they get this big yellow bar that says, hey, do you want to move this to the data catalog, or do you want to move this? So that's sort of how that works. So then you have some level of governance across individuals who aren't in that upper echelon of security, but it does promote data sharing. It promotes that data culture across your organization. And the really nice thing is, while sophisticated users like Casey use Google Analytics and Salesforce and these fancy SaaS systems, a lot of people are doing reports, from Excel or from a Google Doc or something that is just a file-based thing, or a REST API. Those things, when you actually share the dashboard, we prompt you and we say, hey, do you want to share the underlying data with everyone as well? So for example, let's say you have someone that's working in content marketing and they have an Excel spreadsheet where they track all of their content that they're working on. And maybe those are linked into tasks in a workspace in Slingshot, and they want to create a dashboard and share it with all of marketing. They can create a dashboard, they click share with, they select marketing, and then we prompt, hey, do you want to share this Excel file? Do you want to give permissions to everyone to view the data in the Excel file? And you can say yes. So it makes it really easy to promote this data democracy across the organization. So I think that's it for this, right? And the key thing here is, you'll notice we have on the org level dashboards and data sources. So while we looked at data sources first in the data catalog, dashboards are really what people use, right? So you might just look at this as my analytics catalog, like, oh, this is where we have all of our analytics, and this is where we share the stuff, the meat and potatoes that people need to do their job every day. When you look at data sources, you're like, oh my gosh, this looks hard. Or dashboards, you're like, okay, I get it. It's very visual. I can start making decisions immediately with this content. So with that, I think I will steal the share away from you, Casey.
Yep.
And go back to my screen one, share, and here we are. So we'll wrap it up. We are 1 minute over. Thank you everyone for sticking around. Get started with Slingshot today. Go to slingshotapp.io. And when you sign up, you'll get like these onboarding emails from us. You'll get information on the different various features. The other nice thing about Slingshot is when you start it for the first time, in the upper right, you've got this little character. It's our artificial intelligence named Emily. And Emily will give you tips and tricks on things to help you get started. So we're really working hard to make sure that when you log in, you know what to do and you can get started immediately. And of course, if you have any questions, you can contact us directly. And I'll go back to our first slide here where we have our emails. Shoot us an email and we will route you to the correct folks around the globe who can set up a proof of concept for you, get you started on a quick demo, or answer your questions directly. So thanks again, everyone, and we'll see you at the next webinar. Have a great rest of the week.